Friends, every week, we work hard to bring you terrifying animated horror stories. If you enjoy our channel's tales, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos. Tonight's story is from South America, an urban horror legend that still haunts villagers. The legend of El Silbon, the Whistler. This story takes us back to the 1980s in a small South American village called Los Llanos. A beautiful land of endless green fields and quiet farmlands. One summer, a boy named Dmeso came to stay at his uncle's farmhouse during the holidays. Back then, people slept early, so after dinner, everyone was in bed. But Dmeso couldn't sleep. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan. Suddenly, he heard strange noises, cattle crying out in panic. He rushed outside, only to find the sounds coming from a nearby animal shelter where dozens of cows were kept. Looking up, he saw the sky darkening, storm clouds rolling in. He thought maybe the cows were scared of the storm, so he tried leading them into the inner barn. But the animals were restless, frightened, and wild. Something was wrong. As he struggled with them, the rain poured down heavily. That's when he smelled it, a foul stench of rotten meat. The more cows he moved inside, the stronger the smell became. And then, he froze. On the muddy ground lay the blood-soaked bones of an old cow. Dmeso screamed. But before he could run, he heard it. A whistle. A long, eerie, bone-chilling whistle that seemed to travel miles through the storm. Dmeso's blood ran cold. He knew what it meant. It was the whistle of El Silbon. Since childhood, Dmeso had heard stories of this creature. His relatives once told him about a traveler who encountered El Silbon. One night, the man was riding his horse across a vast plain. Suddenly, his horse stumbled. The man dismounted and saw a half-eaten deer carcass on the ground. Before he could process it, he heard a piercing whistle cut through the silence. He tried to get his horse up, but it was too late. Something heavy leapt from a nearby tree. And then he saw it, a monstrous figure, nearly 19 feet tall, with a wide straw hat covering its face. Its body was torn and decayed, strips of flesh hanging loose. On its back, it carried a huge sack full of bones. The man screamed, begging for his life. But the giant pulled out bones from the sack and began beating him mercilessly. By dawn, the villagers found not a man, but a skeleton stripped clean. That was the curse of El Silbon, the bone collector. The memory of that tale flashed through Dmeso's mind as the whistle grew louder. Then, on the ground before him, he saw a massive shadow, stretching nearly 20 feet. From that shadow emerged a figure, taller than any man. It was him, El Silbon. A monstrous being, flesh rotting, bones sticking out, his sack dripping blood. With every step, the sound of clattering bones filled the air. Dmeso's heart pounded as the creature moved closer. Terrified, he ran through the rain. But El Silbon chased him, leaping from tree to tree with terrifying speed. Suddenly, the giant appeared right in front of him, reaching out with his long, skeletal arms. Just as the beast was about to strike, a dog barked. A loud, furious bark that shattered the night. El Silbon stopped, flinched, and then vanished into thin air. Dmeso collapsed on the ground. His loyal dog stood growling beside him. Later, he swore, if not for that dog, he would have been bones inside El Silbon's sack. After that night, Dmeso couldn't forget the creature. He began asking villagers about the legend. What they told him was even darker. Long ago, in the 18th century, there was a spoiled boy who lived with his family. He was the only child, so his parents and grandfather obeyed his every whim. One night, he demanded venison for dinner. His father went hunting, but returned empty-handed. Furious, the boy took a knife and murdered his father. He butchered the body, stuffed the flesh and bones into a sack, and brought it home, telling his mother it was deer meat. When the truth came out, his grandfather tied the boy to a tree, whipped him until his flesh tore, and cursed him forever. He poured chili and alcohol into his wounds, slung the sack of his father's bones onto his back, and released 2 hellhounds after him. From that day forward, the boy's soul was damned. He became El Silbon, the Whistler, condemned to wander the plains, carrying bones, and hunting anyone who crosses his path at night. They say his whistle is a death omen. If it sounds faint, he is near. If it sounds loud, he is far. And the only thing he fears is dogs. Mesa survived because of his faithful dog. But in Los Llanos, people still whisper that El Silbon wanders there, his whistle echoing through the night. And those unlucky enough to hear it rarely live to tell the tale. Friends, this was the chilling legend of El Silbon. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more horrifying urban legends. Every week, we bring you tales that will send shivers down your spine. Stay tuned. Stay scared.